The cancellation of Chris Brown's concert in South Africa, influenced by the advocacy of women's rights groups and the indirect involvement of Jay-Z, reflects a growing intolerance for domestic violence and abuse within the entertainment industry. This significant decision underscores the power of activism and public figures in confronting social issues, especially those concerning gender-based violence. Chris Brown's history with domestic violence, most notably the 2009 incident involving his then-girlfriend Rihanna, continues to cast a shadow over his career despite his ongoing commercial success. While he remains a prominent figure in music, his violent past and repeated legal troubles related to violence have made him a polarizing figure. The movement to ban Chris Brown from performing in South Africa was spearheaded by Women for Change, a South African women's rights activist group. They launched a petition that quickly garnered over 20,000 signatures, calling for his concert to be cancelled. The group cited the country's high rates of gender-based violence and femicide, arguing that allowing Brown to perform would send the wrong message about the treatment of women in a society that is already grappling with these issues. According to Sabina Walter, the executive director of Women for Change, the decision to prevent Brown from performing is a stand against the normalization of violence and abuse. Walter expressed her deep disappointment when learning about Chris Brown's scheduled performance, stating, "For women who face the highest rates of femicide and gender-based violence in the world, it is disheartening to see someone with such a violent history being celebrated." Although Jay-Z did not orchestrate the cancellation directly, his influence in the music industry and his strong stance on social justice issues have likely inspired the activists leading this charge. As an advocate for social change, Jay-Z has frequently used his platform to address significant societal problems such as racial injustice, police brutality, and domestic violence. His support of movements like #MeToo and his involvement in various charitable initiatives focused on women's rights have positioned him an influential figure in shaping public opinion on these matters. While his exact involvement in the cancellation of the concert has not been explicitly detailed, the cultural shift he represents one that emphasizes accountability and respect has undoubtedly contributed to the growing public support for the cancellation. The decision to cancel Chris Brown's concert serves as a stark reminder of the evolving attitudes towards celebrity accountability, particularly in cases involving violence against women. It highlights a growing intolerance for abusive behavior, especially in communities where such issues have historically been overlooked or minimized. The fact that activists, fans, and public figures are taking a stand against a high-profile artist like Brown speaks volumes about the changing societal expectations surrounding celebrities and their actions. In the United States, discussions about domestic violence often lead to debates about forgiveness and the idea of second chances, especially for artists like Chris Brown, who have demonstrated undeniable talent. While many of Brown's fans continue to support him despite his past, the South African response illustrates a different cultural perspective. In a nation grappling with some of the highest levels of gender-based violence, the message is clear: no artist, regardless of their talent or fame, is above the standards of decency and respect for women. Public reactions to the concert's cancellation have been mixed. Many support the decision as a necessary step toward combating domestic violence and holding public figures accountable for their actions. Social media platforms have been flooded with comments praising the women's rights group for taking a firm stand and sending a strong message to other artists about the consequences of their behavior. Supporters of the cancellation emphasize that it is crucial to hold artists like Brown accountable for their past actions, regardless of their current success. On the other hand, some argue that Brown's musical achievements should be considered separately from his personal life, advocating for the notion of artistic redemption. However, the overwhelming sentiment seems to be in favor of the cancellation, reflecting a broader societal shift in attitudes toward violence and abuse within the entertainment industry. The Chris Brown situation brings to light important issues surrounding domestic violence, celebrity culture, and accountability. It raises critical questions about how society treats artists who have been accused of abusive behavior and whether their talent should allow them to escape the consequences of their actions. As audiences become more aware and vocal about these issues, it is essential to foster discussions that prioritize the safety and well-being of victims. The movement to cancel artists with abusive histories, such as Chris Brown, could pave the way for a larger cultural shift, encouraging other countries to follow South Africa's lead. This shift challenges the narrative that celebrity status can shield individuals from consequences and insists that accountability is crucial, regardless of fame or success. Ultimately, the cancellation of Chris Brown's concert in South Africa, influenced by activism and the cultural impact of figures like Jay-Z, underscores a growing movement against violence and abuse. This incident serves as a powerful reminder that societies can and should hold public figures accountable for their actions, particularly in the face of the global epidemic of gender-based violence. The actions taken by activists in South Africa set a precedent for the rest of the world, reflecting a necessary shift in societal values, one that champions the rights and dignity of women while challenging the status quo of celebrity culture. Remember to subscribe to the channel to receive the latest notifications about hot events that are being sought after.